A native of Nashville, Tennessee, she currently lives right here in Brooklyn, and I'd like everyone to welcome Kamilah Aisha Moon.
She has a name. It's largely about a family's journey with the youngest daughter who has autism. And it's very personal family narrative. But then there's other poems about other subjects that are also interspersed. So I think it's best to just go ahead and dive in. I would like to give props to my youngest sister, who is the cover artist for this work. Very proud of that. Borderless country. 1 in 150 now, this glitch in babies poised to unlock the world. These daughters and sons of poets, store clerks, salesmen, singers, CEOs, janitors, and actors cast into this permanent script. Souls we love, turned like the faces of flowers thrust toward a rogue sun. We are the earth we walk. What seeps here? Is the air fighting back? Is the water slowing baskets down, sending them back upstream? Are we changing? Dear God, are they here to tell us in a way we can't ignore that we aren't changing fast enough? Autism, the one-drop rule for minds we strain to understand. The catch-all phrase that drops kids off at nowhere, at you don't exist once you turn 18, at native tongue of one. At white-knuckle translation cobbled through touch across time, at marquee symptoms while causes lurk, at beauty that demands seas of patience. What about that drug I took once? Vaccines, some karmic boomerang I don't remember throwing, its stealth return. 1 in 150 apples of somebody's eye, 1 in 150 my baby. 1 in 150 now. A new child breathes, private riddles of our loving, strapped on many backs. Breach. It seems the most special of beings endure harrowing beginnings. The covering physician didn't know her body's history. He treated Mama with less grace than a laboring mare, almost dragging her off the table, and she had no choice as he ripped my sister into this world. Parents, each year we depreciate. We tell ourselves that if anything must spoil, let it be us. She's worth a million urges. Hope lies in the new. Everyone knows this. Father. The last thing I ever wanted was to let her down. I held her high in the boughs of my biceps until her legs began to grapevine around mine. She didn't wriggle like my older girls did, restless for ground. No. Lord, no, please, not my baby girl, not the one named after Mama, gone. Mouth carved just like hers, like mine. What could I have done? Held her as long as any father's strength could stand her growing weight. What next? My chromosome limps in her bloodstream. The proof? Years later, my brother's son scales this cliff. I'm not allowed to say, I don't want to pay what she will cost us. I'll work myself into pulp, withhold my tongue, and practice nothingness. Cockroach logic. If I don't move, I'm not really against this wall, back gleaming in harsh light. I won't hold my wife's hand and skip words like stones. I'll become a dyke of a man, fall asleep in front of the TV nightly until I burst. Mother. I watched the backs of college girlfriends trailing off to mobile lives. I watched them until they were blips. Ours was a sacred exile then, waterfalls of words between us, silhouettes in love, tending our own. The hours, clouds floating past, beds in the sky where rain slept. I often wake up dizzy, the sun mocking us as it douses her face. My husband says nothing. His kiss is shallow. What we don't say, we eat. I think I'll do this one. Stigma. She hated that short yellow bus. The sentence felt each day it pulled up sign to McMurray Junior High's curb, delivering her to locker-lined halls full of metallic 7th grade teeth. Special ed teacher. I have the population others don't want. How does one look out into a room of leg braces and mute stares, expecting to find sparks, a high-functioning one? I registered them with the Special Olympics, bring in Oreos and high C for the Christmas party, Xerox their initial progress reports, some years old, to re-sign, tell them what a joy it is to have them in my class. I see them out to the short yellow buses and go home. I stopped crying after the first year, stopped trying after the second. They never felt like lies until I was caught. This is the first parent to hold me to them. Most give me credit for smiling in the class picture. Frequency and ultimatum. Who are you, damn it? Make yourselves known. Spooks and haints that speak only to her. Unholy chorus stalking the shoulders of my parents' third angel. Dog whistle voices take her away mid-sentence. Brazen cackles bar her from sleep. Headsets on the nightstand offer DJ chatter and quiet storm melodies just wide enough to drown them, so she can sneak into REM unfettered by strange music. What do you say? Why can't I hush you when she bristles at your whispers? Decoding crests and troughs that wash past our ears, I must somehow tune into the station on the mental dial where she listens to heavy air my comprehension can't weigh. I wish my love static interfered with magnetic tongues, luring her from herself. Find another mind or else. No room for gray. Between is a hard place to live. She shuns wheelchairs and mongoloid faces, mad that her mind will fight to keep her quarantined from her own car, yard, babies. You are or you're not. You're sick or you're well, one thing or another, but it's never that simple like breathing should be. Between is a hard place to live. Each morning she stretches her fingers toward a life just out of reach and grudgingly squeezes into a seat at a table that bumps her knees. Airport scene after her first solo visit. She wanted to fly like us, experience peanuts and ginger ale at 35,000 feet, rent metal wings and hurtle through the sky, free to defy autism's gravity and simply be the passenger in seat 13E. She was coasting, a look ma no hands smile resplendent on her face. My fear shortened her ride as I led her by the hand to the front of the line, telling the attendant to keep watch, that she is different. Why did you do that to me? Bruised but standing, she turned to exit through the gate, her flight home a lesser altitude. College is not Canaan, sis. Not a promised land to independence, to normal, not etched in stone. Come down from your Mount Nebo of longing, discover your own route to paradise. We'll meet you there. Directions. Don't drop your sister, ever, especially when I'm gone. I don't believe you care as much as I do. I want to, but how could you really? And should you? gorgeous wind in your sails, but I need you to carry her, to want to carry her. Hold her hands on both sides, crossings ahead, swift and brutal. Never let her out of your sight like years ago in the park, in the mall, at the movies. Like after church on the lawn when your father wasn't looking, didn't correct those who only asked about the first two. Promise me she won't inhale the ammonia smell of group mess halls, wince at the prying fingers of hired help. Promise me, girls. Wallet. When I was 18, I found your old wallet in a drawer. I eased your freshman ID from the dark slit, smiled at the country hump on the hairy lip of manhood staring back at me. You appear brooding, but those margarine eyes, cooked a deep brown, tell another truth. Stuck to the other side, a photo booth shot of your uptown girlfriend. I have her nose. Daddy, you're fading, but there's still sheen. Snapped and tucked close, you unfold on occasion, glimpses of stray ancient receipts. Out of pocket in your own house, you live in the sanctuary. Member of every committee, your voice soars through hymns, gospel that rings out the soul, hangs sinners up clean and whole again. The robe hides everything that sags. Here, your sacrifices win praise. At home, glory isn't as clear. Tearing in places, you brace for each crisp new loss, and now so do I, your firstborn, stitching things together, carrying you with me everywhere I go. Waving, they stand behind the screen as they always have, sacred sentinels. When did it happen? The soul dry rot, the end of heavy breathing, the loss of their first names. Their bones and the arthritic dogwood limbs brace against each other in the yard, wavering in January wind without blooms. Each visit home frays me, the price I pay for being able to drive away. Watching a woman on the M101 Express. You sit in a hard blue seat, one of the ones reserved for the elderly or infirm, a statue of need. Your mouth open as if waiting for water or medicine, as if mugged mid-sentence, or some ice age hit right after terrible news. Oblivious to the metro's bump and buck, to the toddler begging in Spanish to be freed from her stroller, to my ogling, you sit embalmed, raccooned or moosed. You have the kind of eyes that never quite close, even in deepest sleep, lids an undersized t-shirt that leaves belly exposed. Tears navigate moles, veteran swimmers of your creek bed face. I can't stop looking. You can't get over whatever has happened, so shell-shocked that birds could land and roost. I want to ask, just so you know someone is paying attention, but not enough to know what ravages. It's rude to stare. I'm from the South, a suburb where grief pulls the shades first, stays home if indecent. But your sorrow struts 4 rows down from me, strands you an astronaut on some distant, undiscovered moon. Bodies to your left and right read papers, nap, send text messages. You sit in a hard blue seat, mouth open. I study the pink of your jaw and wonder if you'll come back before your stop comes. To a Jamaican survivor with love. Bless your reflection. Float on currents back to yourself, back to peace, back to the flavor of curried goat dancing on your tongue. Seek the sun, sweet daughter of maroons, until dragged into the depths of God's blue, wet fingers, the memory stops breathing. Do not let this cripple you. His sin is not your cross. Stand on sinewy legs and walk, sister. Fluff your hair back into place. Find the eye. Begin to heal. weather this hurricane. You, a sturdy petal bloom beneath howling sky. The day you became a parent without me. Wasted batch of lover's moonshine, this blood is old. Inside the roar of news, my wound jug empties. Dusk sets fire to the porch, to what was us. Honey, go bathe your son.